Assalamu alaikum. Have you ever heard الشهادتين, the two shahadas, الوالدين, the two parents, or العيدين, the two Eids, الحرمين, and so on? All of these are just examples for المثنى. المثنى, like إثنان, you see the similarity? إثنان means two. المثنى is a grammatical form in Arabic that refers to exactly two things. So unlike al-mufrad, the singular that refers to one, or al-jama', the plural that refers to three or more, we would have al-muthanna that you wouldn't find in English, but you actually would see it in other languages other than Arabic as well. So as you can tell from the similarity, ithnan is two, al-muthanna is the dual form that is very easy to form. And today, inshallah, we will learn how do we form it. So simply, we will form al-muthanna by adding ani or aini to the masculine singular form. So for example, talib, add ani, talibani, add aini, talibaini. Dars or kitab, kitabani wa kitabaini. Dars, درسان ودرسين. مسلم مسلمان ومسلمين. So what is actually the difference between كتابان وكتابين, مسلمان ومسلمين? What do you think? We can say there is no big difference if there is a difference at all in the meaning. Both of these mean two books, two Muslims. So meaning wise, there is no difference at all. It's all about the ending is different because the grammatical case is different. So as you know, the noun, any noun you can think about, will take one of three end cases: مرفوع, منصوب, or مجرور. So the مرفوع state will take the any ending. Before that, we know about مرفوع that it goes with ضمة or ضمتين. If the word has ضمة or ضمتين, it's مرفوع. Now, talking about the dual, if it ends in any, it's مرفوع. But if it has أيني, then it is منصوب or مجرور. So to make our noun dual, we will add أني or أيني, but we will pick between these two options based on the grammatical end case we want to express. How do we pick between أني أيني, مرفوع, منصوب, and مجرور? Just the same way you pick between the same way you pick between كتاب, كتابا, and كتاب. You say كتاب if you are using it as مبتدأ, خبر, فاعل, all of these if you want it to be مرفوع. Same here. You say طالباني and not طالبين if you will be using it as a مبتدأ, the subject of the nominal sentence, or the subject, the doer of the verbal sentence. So if it's any of these, you're going to go with any. Say الكتابان جديدان, or قابل المعلمان مدير المدرسة. The two teachers met the principal of the school or the manager of the school. And on the other hand, say كتابين if that's the direct object, مفعول به, or خبر كان, or if it's مجرورة because it's the noun after a preposition, or maybe مضاف إليه. So we have قرأت الكتابين الجديدين. So I read the two books, I read them, so they are مفعول به, so they need to be منصوب. If it was singular, I would say كتابا and make it منصوب. But now because it's dual, it takes أيني instead of فتحة or فتحتين. It's taking this whole combo of ending, not just حركة, فتحة, ضمة, or كسرة we put in the end of the letter, in the end of the word. Now it's a whole combo, two letters. And as you can tell, it's always ni. Whether مرفوع or مجرور, it's كتاباني or كتابيني. You notice the ni sound in the end? So the noon is the same. It's just about the letter before the noon. Is it آني or أيني. آني مرفوع, أيني منصوب and مجرور. Let's see. Now look at this word and tell me, is it مرفوع, منصوب أو مجرور? Correct. If you said مهندساني مرفوع, good job. What about the next? Yes, الفصلين منصوب or مجرور, both. Next. رسولاني, you're correct, مرفوع. As for قلماني, you're also correct, it's مرفوع. What about this last one? رجلين, no, doesn't look مرفوع. It is منصوب and مجرور, and the context tells if it's which one of them, منصوب or مجرور. So that's all about المثنى forming the dual form, especially for the masculine. If you're now wondering about the feminine, what happens to feminine words? I want you to know that it's almost the same thing. It's just as simple. So you know that feminine words end in ta marbuta, most of them, right? And you know also that ta marbuta comes only in the end of words. And now we would like to add ani or aini like we did with the masculine, right? But think about it. You would want to add something after ta marbuta. So that's not possible, right? Because ta marbuta comes only in the end. So ta marbuta is preventing us from this. So we're just gonna remove it. So remove ta marbuta from the end of the singular feminine noun. Step 2, add your endings. The dual endings, which now will be tani and taini. Then you will have طالبة, a feminine word. We cut the ta marbuta, we have طالب, add tani, طالبتان or طالبتين. So yes, we will simply add tani or taini, and again it's ni, just the same ending like the masculine. Besides that, now we notice this extra ta, tani and taini. But why ta? What do you think? Where do you think this ta is coming from? We agree that we are now talking about feminine words, the one that end in ta marbuta, that we decided that step 1 is cutting the ta marbuta. But now, how can we tell if it's feminine or masculine if we cut the ta marbuta completely, right? So what happened here is we actually took the ta marbuta, recycled it, turned it into a regular ta, so that we are still able to tell that it's a feminine word. So this is the source of ta. So now to make the word حقيبة feminine, I cut the ta marbuta and add tani, or I recycled the ta marbuta and I made it a regular ta. حقيبتان or حقيبتين. مدرسة, school, will be مدرستان or مدرستين. مسلمة, مسلمتان or مسلمتين. And the same question arises again. What is the difference? حقيبتان وحقيبتين, مسلمتان ومسلمتين. And now you can answer, right? Meaning wise, there is no difference. Both of them mean 2 bags, 2 female Muslims. The only difference is about the end case. The tani ending is for the marfu'a state. Taini ending is for mansub أو مجرور. So if your word حقيبة in dual is going to be the subject of the sentence, is going to be the doer, is going to be what else? What else is مرفوع? خبر also is مرفوع, right? So if it's any of these, it's going to be with تاني حقيبتان. Like here الحقيبتان جديدتان. It is the subject, so it needs to be مرفوع. قابلت المعلمتان مدير المدرسة. The two female teachers met the principal of the school. On the other side, if it's منصوبة because it's maybe the object of the verbal sentence, or maybe it is the predicate of كان, then الحقيبتين. حملت الحقيبتين الجديدتين. I carried the two new bags, not heavy. تكلم المدير, the principal talked to المعلمتين, talked with them. So we see a preposition, that means the following noun has to be مجرور, and مجرور with dual words does not mean a كسرة anymore. It means a كسرة, yeah, with other words, but with dual it means أيني. Now, we would like to know how can we use verbs with the dual nouns. And as you learned before, the verb has a favorite place to show up in, and that place is in the beginning of the sentence. But also it can be after the subject, and the subject can come first because the speaker, the writer, is just trying to put emphasis on the subject more than the verb. In this case, if we have the subject in the beginning, الطالبان, البنتان in the beginning, the verb just agrees with them. We have a dual subject, then we have a dual verb. However, when it comes in its favorite spot in the beginning, we don't have to worry about the verb being dual as well. The verb will remain singular. So that's a bit confusing, I understand, but we can just take this. If the verb comes in the beginning, it's gonna always be singular, right? We will not worry about putting it in dual. It doesn't have to agree in the number. However, it's still agreeing in gender. You know, if you're saying طالباني, that's masculine, you're saying ذهب. But if you say البنتان, then ذهبت. So the gender is always respected and never ignored. But the number, it's flexible. It can be ignored if the verb comes in the beginning. That means the verb will always be in singular if it comes in the beginning of the sentence. So that is all for today about the dual, and that's pretty much everything you need to know about the dual. Now let's have some practice. We have 3 sentences. You need to fill in the blank with the word boy, ولد, bag, حقيبة, girl, بنت, in the dual form. Okay, easy. ولد, ولدان, or ولدين. حقيبة, حقيبتان, or حقيبتين. بنت, بنتان, or بنتين. Yeah, it is easy, that's right, but you should give me just one of them. Which one fits in each of the sentences? So you need to decide. Here it's gonna be مرفوع, so you are picking the أني ending, or it should be منصوب or مجرور, so you are picking the أيني ending. So pause the video, take your time, and then tell me if you got them like this. And if yes, then congratulations, 10 out of 10.